I do not want America to be as socially conservative as it was in 2012. I want our civilization to be as socially conservative as we were in 1220.
My man, you do not have what it takes to live in 1220, my man. He probably thinks that he would be some kind of nobility.
So on the one hand, they want maybe the social values or the age of consent of the 13th century, but then they also want the industrial development of the 21st century and the technology of the 21st century. What is this? This is 13 minutes. Actually, 1 point.
My lovely imps, okay? Today, I've been doing I've been really trying to not talk about the specific, horrible, annoying, unfunny, joyless hacks over at the Daily Wire, because they're literally just propagandists of the worst types. They have nothing positive to contribute to any conversation, and I don't really care about them. Their opinions are stupid, and most people know that their opinions are stupid. However, today, I am breaking my general rule because this is way too funny, okay? Michael Knowles recently went on a rant, and I have to say, it made me laugh so hard that we have to watch together. So let's do this without any further ado. Let's go.
Americans are as conservative today as they were back in 2012, which is fine, and it's a good start given how much
Why is he so quiet? Let's crank this fucker up.
more liberal the country had become since 2012.
Still not loud enough. He has a soft voice. What can I say? He has a soft voice.
But if 2012 is the end point, then we might as well pack it in, guys. I do not want America to be as socially conservative as it was in 2012. I want our civilization to be as socially conservative as we were in 1220, okay?
Okay, let's hear that again one more time, just real quick. One more time.
In 2012. I want our civilization to be as socially conservative as we were in 1220. Okay?
Have at thee, knave! Have at thee! Ah! Oh! Forward! Forward! Oh, the hot oil! The hot oil is burning on me! Oh my god! Oh, my legs! My skin! My skin is burning in my armor! Oh! Meanwhile, back at the Knowles farm. Didst thou clean up after the pig? I have not, father. I will go clean up after the pig. Don't forget thine rusty pitchfork!
I didn't actually know Michael Knowles said that. That he wants to be as conservative as we were in the 1208. Oh, God. What was the age of consent back then? Uh-oh. Michael? Michael?
I sure hope the noble lord does not come and rape my wife tonight. And then in the background, you hear the sounds of hoofbeats approaching and the trumpets of the noble lord. Oh.
Delete the 13th century lolly, Michael. No, Michael knows. Delete the lithographs. Is that what they used back then? Delete the lithographs of 14-year-old princesses marrying kings to preserve family alliances. No, Michael. Delete the lithographs of a confused 13-year-old being asked by her for uncle if she has bled yet and is thus ready to consummate the marriage to her uncle. No, Michael. All right.
Michael Knowles wishing that the world was as socially conservative as 1220 is the most comical return with a V thing that I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. Okay? First of all, let's just be 100% real. Michael Knowles would not be anything but the court jester or the dungeon.
Burn the tapestries, Michael. Oh no. Delete the illicit tapestry of the Duchess's wedding night. She was only 12 years old, Michael.
Not good. And then, by the way, like additional detail on other parts. Like it's not good. It is not good. And the issue here is that these were saved and that he acknowledged knowledge of their content. President Sunday, here's a useful standard. If you have to wonder if she's old enough, she's not old enough. Well, yeah, exactly. And so the argument that I'm making is that in certain cases, if the style is abstract enough, so it abstracts away from, like for example, if you draw all the characters with the exact same kind of like sort of triangular shape, I'm trying to think of a good example here, but like, if you draw characters in such a way as they're highly stylized, it's conceivable that...
Fuck this, I'm gonna keep watching the Demon Mama video. That was actually good. Let's just keep watching this. Make a segment out.
Sponge, okay? In medieval times, in pre the Black Plague, the years winding up to the Black Plague, there is literally no position for people like Michael Knowles in that time. He does not have the cadence to be a town crier, nor does he have the hearty pipes to be able to shout out the news. Hear thee, the king has declared. Nope, he doesn't have the guts to be a town crier, which means at best, if he can do somersaults, they might let him be a court jester. And if he can't do somersaults because, you know, he's got a bad back from sitting at his, from medieval Michael Knowles, from shoveling pig shit on his father's farm for his entire youth, then he gets to be the human mop that gets to scoop up all of the rat feces that piles up in the town jail. And the local jailer will hit him with a piece of turkey meat on the head when he doesn't scoop fast enough.
Bro, Vaush must be really regretting that he wasn't a conservative this whole time, right? Because these guys can just say this shit and get away with it, like, so quickly. Like, what the fuck? All these fucking groypers and shit, they'll talk, like, openly about age of consent and how they want it to be lower and all this shit. And, yeah, and even like the whole Sneeko red pill fucking overlap with the crazy, like, online, like, modern Islamic radicals talking about fucking, like, justifying Muhammad's romantic choices and shit like that. Fuck me. The gay-ol.
It's actually insane. The people who pretend like they want to go back to medieval England. Also, let's just be real. Michael Knowles, look at this fucking fop, okay? He's got his tailored shirt. He's got his nice little mug. He's got his fancy set. My man, you do not have what it takes to live in 1220, my man. You would be absolutely mocked in every single way. Of course, he probably thinks that he would be some kind of nobility, but he's not a fucking noble. He's a mariswine, okay? This guy's blood is muddier than the fucking smallest of the peasants. The worst a British peasant has purer blood than this motherfucker American mutt. Okay? Let's be real. Oh my God. It makes me die. Oh my God. This guy would have been slain by a bandit. This guy would have been conquered by a local lord. He would have been made to be the chamberpot of a warlord or a baron. Bring me Knowles, the human chamberpot. Yes, me lord. Yes, I shall. 1220. I can't imagine a worse time to be alive. Well, see, Michael Knowles, the ultimate LARPer, is just like, oh, if I could go back to 1220, I would be a cool-based crusader. Oh, if I was back in that time, I would be I would be a marquis, and I would have a fancy horse, and they would let me have as many eel pies as I wanted, when in reality...
That she knows her fucking feudal terminology, doesn't she? Nice one.
Again, he would be the human chamberpot for some, like, a backwater lord who chopped his family's heads off with a double-bladed axe.
Isn't Michael Knowles Italian descent? What was happening in Italy in 1220? It was just around before Merchant of Venice, like the merchants. That was like 13th, 14th century, was it? What's happening in Italy in the 13th century? Not Dark Ages. It was divided. It wasn't Italy back then. It was like north and south. And also a bunch of other small fucking shitholes. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, actually, period of obscurity. Warfare between the estates. Look at it. What a fucking mess. Jesus. How did you get those borders? Warfare was common. Holy Roman emperors. They were still around. The Black Plague. Oh, they just come out of the Black Plague, so there's not that many people kicking around anymore. Where's 13th century? Oh, here we go. Oh, Henry the Sixth and Constance. How old was she? Oh, sus. When did she get married? This is Michael Knowles' time, and apparently he is Italian descended, so. Queen of Sicily from 1194. When did you get married? 30. Oh, okay. Not bad. All right. Okay. Michael Knowles. Might not have to delete the lithographs or the fucking tapestries. Fuck me. So she was a modern. Wait, that's too. Wait. Yeah, this is too modern, though. 30. She's a fucking girl boss. She's a liberal. What? Okay.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh man. So yeah, there's not much else to say about this except that it's the funniest thing I've ever heard. These people are the ultimate LARPers. And by the way, just out of curiosity, I know that lots of people like to talk about normies. They like to try and say, oh, normies like what I have to say. Let me ask you something. If you went out onto the street right now, no, you know what? Don't even have to go out on the street. Just think about your friend group or your family. Go ask any one of them if they think that they would like, unironically, to live in 1220 AD, okay? And just see what the average person reacts to. Bonus points if you ask a woman whether they would want to exist in 1220 AD.
I think the problem is that with a lot of these like really far right conservatives is that they want this kind of impossible constellation of societal characteristics. So on the one hand, they want maybe the social values or the age of consent of the 13th century, but then they also want the industrial development of the 21st century and the technology of the 21st century. And for science, I guess they probably want it to have stopped at some point in fucking like 1880 or at whatever point they realized that gay people were real. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, and they probably want to keep indoor toilets. Yeah, it's like they're playing a fucking Civilization video game where you just group in all these fucking incompatible like aspects of society and just ram them together.
Because let me just tell you, they're not going to react very well to that. People like their TVs. People like their cars. People like living, with indoor plumbing. People like being able to wash their bodies on a regular basis and not have to live with a crusted layer of filth across you, because you're a pig farmer who has a thatched roof. People like their understanding of germ theory and like being able.
One of the defining internal tensions of fascism is futurism versus traditionalism. Yep, it's what you call like syncretistic. Yeah. Syncretistic views on history, basically, yeah. Like the Nazis with their whole Lebensraum, rural, Germanic, peasant farmer, idealistic lifestyle. But then, is it syncretic? I thought it was syncretistic. Okay. Sorry, whoops. And then, they wanted that combined with like the technological powerhouse of the Nazi Wehrmacht war machine. Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah, that whole cringe.
Able to go to a doctor instead of an alchemist who dips you into a bucket of leeches. I know, right? Shocking. Anyway, if there was any other evidence that you needed that the modern far right is literally the biggest LARPers on the planet, again, Michael Knowles wouldn't make it in a Renaissance fair, let alone in the actual year 1220. Michael Knowles would go to a Renaissance fair and get scared because there were too many gay people there, because he doesn't realize that Renaissance fairs are have a 100% overlap with the gay community. Anyway,
Is that
yeah,
true?
I'm sure
didn't know
that
that.
Michael Knowles is super up to date on his pig shoveling. I'm sure he's super up to date on his archery. I'm sure he totally knows how to put on a breastplate. I'm sure he absolutely is totally up to date on like hunting and skinning rabbits. Actually, he might be up to date on that one.
It would be some. Oh wait, actually, because it's Michael Knowles, right? And he's Italian. Apparently, Florence. I wouldn't imagine it was the same everywhere, but apparently, Florence during the Renaissance had a widespread culture of homosexuality. Wow. It was home to the sodomites, as once described. In the medieval era, this was more the trend, though, right? Yeah, anything that wasn't for procreation was seen as unnatural. Yeah, but generally referring to sex between two men. It's important to note that sexuality in the medieval era was not restricted by modern conceptions of sexuality. It wasn't categorized until the 19th century. Instead, for the people of Renaissance Florence, a man's sexuality could be quite fluid as long as it didn't threaten his masculinity. This is why a practice now known as pederasty prevailed, where mature men, those over 20, would have sex with adolescent boys. Michael! Delete the tapestry album from the Florence Renaissance Fair. Today, this age imbalance seems unacceptable, but at the time it was the norm, with any deviation threatening a man's masculinity. This was an ancient tradition going back to the Greeks and Romans. No, Michael. Oh, and the anti-sodomy laws didn't come in until 1284, so this is within Michael's period, 1220. Huh. That's so interesting. Soy.
Knowing Michael Knowles, he seems like he's got a few weird quirks. Maybe he was really into like the killing small animals and stuff like that. I don't know. You guys think he's ready to be a squire that regularly gets rotten carrots dumped on his head because he didn't put on a horseshoe fast enough?
She's being so specific here. I like it.
Yeah, he'd be a plague denier, and he would die in 3 days from the Black Plague. He'd be like, "Thine Black Plague is a false." And then he would immediately be like, "These buboes under my arms are nary a thing. Ignore the buboes bulging out of my lymph nodes." I don't know what a lymph node is. The bulging brown and black tumors on my neck and underarms are nothing to be. It's a curse of Satan. A witch did it to me. Twas a witch. 'Twas a witch. So yeah, again,
Michael would fucking licking the noses of rats as part of one of his segments to prove that it doesn't make you ill. Oh, no.
I encourage you all. Here, I'm gonna post
Okay.
this. I'm gonna post this video in chat in case you want it. If anybody ever brings up Michael Knowles again, just play them this and ask them if they really feel like they want somebody who wants to go back to the years before the Black Plague, if they want to go back to thatched roofs and live and like swaddling your way through mountains of cow shit, getting slain on a regular basis by I don't know, the neighboring angry warlord who thinks he has a claim to the crown. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Sure. Anyway, Michael Knowles is obviously a fool, and I just wanted to share with you the state of the talking heads. Keep in mind that Michael Knowles is one of the sort of...
How does one get slain on a regular basis? I don't know. I think Demon Mama has a very like a surrealist approach to comedy.
I guess he's what we would call a conservative B-lister, maybe C-lister. I think he's a B-lister these days.
Michael Knowles.
His
he was quite
show
big.
isn't like amazingly popular on the broad scale of things, but he keeps making waves and he keeps getting talked about in mainstream media, despite basically having a, you know, kind of a small as far as
Unless she means slain, not in the killed sense, but in the, I guess, what happens to the, what happened to the little boys at the Florence Renaissance Fair. No! Burn the paintings, Michael!
As far as the Daily Wire goes, a fairly small YouTube channel. But these are the voices of the right now. Gone are the glory days of Rush Limbaugh, apparently. Now you get a harken back to 1220. Michael Knowles, who's in his mind fucking rolling a D20 and believing that he's gonna, you know, get a natural 20 and become a wizard because, you know, that's definitely how the 1220s were. Okay, but thatch roofs are great. Yeah, sure, okay. Yeah, it's a lost art. All right, fair, whatever. He would have been sent off to France to fight in the 100 Years' War. Yeah, he would have been. He would have gotten frontlined. He would have gotten crushed between a bunch of sweaty British people, sweaty Brits, and sweaty Frenchmen. After his peasant ass was sent to the front lines to be a human sponge for French pikes. Would have been incredible. Yeah. Or, you know, who knows? Maybe he would have become. Maybe.
Didn't he just say the conservative aspect and not all this extra shit she's adding, Sis is adding in? Didn't he just he didn't say he wanted a king. No, yeah, he said he wanted the social values of 1220, right? Like the social value. Obviously, if you poked him, right, he's not going to say that he wanted their approach to the fucking scientific method and technology and their age of consent. He probably wouldn't say that, right? But yeah, she's obviously just taken that line and like ran with it. But it's funny. I'm just enjoying it. Sorry, just in case you guys didn't notice. But I mean, when it says social values, that might the social values that does include the way that they treated fucking age of consent. So yeah. And apparently Florence was up to all kinds of mischief. Are you enjoying it though? Oh, I'm enjoying it. This is a good segment. Yeah, it's a good deviation.
Maybe he would have become the pleasure hole of a local like bandit group in ye olde King's Woods.
How are you going to get the social values of the 13th century but everything else of the 21st century? Well, I think people have like clubs for that, you know, where they hire out a fucking field in the middle of nowhere and they all buy like suits of armor and swords and they LARP. That's the only way you can possibly, yeah. A LARP festival is the only place you're going to get it, yeah. But Michael's welcome to try, you know?
Anyway, yeah, Michael Knowles is a joke. Thanks for laughing with this with me, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can keep hearing the signal.
Okay, nice one. That creator was called Demon Mama. If you enjoyed the video, you should go find her channel and subscribe. Okay, whatever. Okay.